Hello, and you're listening to Let's Try Now. I don't know whether anyone's actually going to show up. Frank's only just left work. Cole's working. Curry's away. Yeah, it's just me. So feel free to ask questions in the chat. Don't really know what else to. Haven't really flown much. I've been soldering the old, cleaning up Kakute. Gonna maybe try and run iNav. Pointless doing the intro if it's just me. It probably won't. Hello. I thought you were still at work.
I just got back, literally.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Yeah. I didn't think anyone else was coming.
Well, there you go.
Oh. Let's start the show. Hello. You're listening to Let's Drone Out. Tonight we are joined by Andrew/Frank.
Evening.
And myself, Brighton Till I Fly. Hello. And welcome. How you doing, Frank?
I am good, thank you. I am tired because in the past week I have done 63 hours of streaming. And that is a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it's done. It's the third year I've been involved with this event, and this has been the smoothest so far. This is the best I've felt after this event. We've gradually over the years pared away the older, sketchier equipment, shored up the single points of failure, and it's been a fairly smooth run this time. So that's good. So yeah.
Nice.
He's been having lots of fun in the local Facebook groups this week with all the locals posting that, a fighter jet just flew over my garden. There's a B-52 flying over my garden.
Oh dear.
It's like, yep, that will happen.
That'll happen every 4 years. Is that right?
2 years, I think. Farnborough Air Show. You might be right. It might be 4. I feel like it's 2 years. I think it's sort of COVID has been involved and sort of changed frequencies a bit. But yeah. So tomorrow at noon on the 26th. Internet connection died.
Well, you cut out then.
My internet connection died. That's encouraging. Well, it's back.
Say again, Frank.
At noon tomorrow, on the 26th of July, there is going to be the public day of the Farnborough Air Show. Is going to be opened at noon by a drone, by an unmanned aerial vehicle. It's going to be the Phoenix Wings Orca. Is going to open the show.
Does the CIA know about this?
Oh yeah, yep. It's definitely cleared and everything. So yeah, I would quite like to see that, but I have a day job and I have neglected the day job too much to go see it. If anyone else goes to see it, they take some pictures and some video and let me know. I'm interested to see What?
Did they demand you back?
Yeah, it turns out like if you want like, a regular source of income, you actually have to like do some work. It's not how I want to play the game, but apparently that's the way it is. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to see that, but I would like to see it. It's a quite an excessively over-engineered thing. I feel like it's not just a hexacopter. It's also, I think, got 4. So it's like imagine taking like a fixed wing, like like the VTOLs that have been coming out, where they've got like 2 motors in the front and 2 motors, 2 motors in front of the wing, 2 motors behind the wing, and they sort of pivot between vertical mode and kind of the 2 at the front pulling and the 2 at the back pushing. Like that's been a thing that's been going around and has been frustrating people by not being set up properly. Well, they've got that, and they've also got like 6 lifting motors, I think, as well. So it's like I feel like there's a lot of redundancy in this thing, and it also does FLAM and ADS-B, and they've got it is butt ugly, but it's got a Jetty radio, which is like a hobby, like a high end but hobby radio. Jetty's used in quite often in like the you can guess from the name, from the turbine world, so like the scale models with actual jet engines in them, that are like 10 grand a pop just for the jet engine as a starting price. Like it's got like a 868 and a 2.4 system together that sort of have diversity between them and redundancy between them. So imagine getting like a crossfire system and a tracer system and using them both. And the idea is it's very reliable, is the idea.
Yeah, don't the Warbirds guys use them?
Probably like if you get into the big stuff, I think that's generally where it's used, like jets and large models. Although the large models tend to be a bit more conservative, and it's probably a bit more like Futaba type stuff.
Keep talking, I can still hear you. I just need to change battery.
Yeah, we're doing well on technology today. Apologies for the potato can, but turns out I needed more time to dig out my proper camera and set that up, and I didn't have it. So you've got my backup camera instead, which is some no-name Chinese dog do from 2014, probably. So it's not amazing. Yeah, what else has been going on? Have we spoken about Tricopter meetup on the show? I can't remember.
I showed my footage, and that's it. I have got the Instagram upload that I can share, because I uploaded, I up your lovely pictures, Frank. I did give you. I hope you don't mind me borrowing your photos.
Yeah, that was a fun day.
Yes,
That was like
out.
sunny. It's
I know.
it was actual summer, unlike today where it's just been drizzly and grey and cold all day.
That's not how that works. Look, you.
Yeah, you and your swooshy tricopter, big swooshy tricopter.
Weebly wobbly, not that swooshy.
Yeah, it was a bit.
It was a bit terrifying.
Yeah, yeah, taking that photo, I did jump back a bit at one point.
Yeah,
It
sorry.
exceeded my comfort zone.
I know, I do apologise, Frank.
But
I
yeah,
think
so you were flying your, as Sun and Dad FPV in the chat recognised, a David Brindestall RC Explorer. Which version was it? V3? Or is it an
I
earlier
think,
version?
yeah, I think it's a V3.
With some 8-inch fire blades, was it?
Yep, 8-inch slow flies.
And they, yeah, looked, yes, in fairly good nick for presumably how old they are.
20. I've had those, the yellow ones, I've definitely had since 2014. Just so you know.
I can believe it. Yeah. And you didn't have, did you? Well, what was the flight controller in that? Was it
It was a
KKT?
Kakute F4
There you go.
V1.
Ah, yeah, because yours is new enough to be vaguely able to handle some vaguely modern version of Betaflight, right? Whereas mine is on an F3, my baby tricopter, and is therefore ineligible to be run on anything vaguely modern. So I've got to work out something else.
Yeah, you do have a like PIDs available to you. If you have the little 3D printed file tail tune thing, you're able to use the feedback wire, hopefully.
Yeah, it's got the feedback wire. Yeah.
Did you flash it? Have you got it up and running?
No, it's still running whatever version of whatever it was on in 2016 when I last.
Yeah, but was that the
2017 maybe?
Was that the deroning software?
I don't know. I think I last flew it on TriFlight, and then I think I flashed it with either a newer version of TriFlight or Dronin or something else. I don't know what. And
Have you
then it
found
still
your
needed tail
USB?
tuning, and I couldn't work out how to do it, so it's not flown since then.
Oh,
unfortunately, I know.
but there's a YouTube guide and everything.
I know. At some point I'll do it, but there's other things I need to do, like sleep and laundry. And those things will be taking priority over the next week at least. Certainly. Andy, I see you have not tuned into 2013. Please do not adjust your sets. This is the 25th of July 2024. We did start off talking about a drone opening the Farnborough Air Show, but yeah, we've gone back a couple of weeks to when Jack and I went with Chris G and flew tricopters and rode e-bikes and enjoyed ourselves. Well, I enjoyed myself anyway. I know what you.
Yeah.
And it was an interesting place we flew as well. It wasn't Brooklands, as FX Node guessed, although it's a very good guess. Right area, right sort of construction with the bank circuit. But it wasn't Brooklands. It was the old Transport Research Laboratory, I think it was called, which is being developed into a housing estate. But they've got a few bits that are still there. So there's this banked curve of a like a speed run circuit. They've got a pond made out of a skid pan, and they've got a fire watch tower as well. That was quite fun. And all sorts of road signs and things and road markings were all left on all the old roads that they used to like test. Oh, how's a roundabout meant to work? How's a bicycle lane best made? And when they're all like testing out ideas for like, are people going to understand these road signs and these road markings? And they would build it and get people to drive around it and see what people did before doing it out on the open road. Yeah, and then the hill start. Yeah, we learnt more about it than we probably would have done, because it turned out the day that we went there was also a kids' treasure hunt. So every 2 minutes, another crowd of children was turning up, being like, where's the sign to tell us about the bank circuit? Oh, it's right next to these old blokes.
Weird men
flying
dangerous toys.
Yeah. Slightly buzzy bits of wood. Yeah. Well, there we go. Other than that, it was a good day to go flying. It's nice to see a couple of tricopters flying in formation for a bit. It's good fun. You and Chris G went up.
Yeah, it was good. It was nice, like to like just fly and have some company. Apparently, he's messaged me and said that the tricopter's broken, and he's like now redesigning a new one.
Yes, FX Node has seen the picture and recognised that yes, Chris G's has flaps on it. Chris has gone a slightly novel route of I think none of the motors tilt. It's just got control surfaces. Is that right? Have I understood that correctly?
I think so. Yes. I don't think. Yes, I don't think any of them. I think the motors stay centered. They're slightly tilted so that the handle, because all his props are the same direction and spin the same way. Whereas I have counter rotating props.
Yeah. But it flew very well.
Yeah.
And could fly for a long time.
Yeah, and then when it lands, it does a little wiggle constantly, which is quite adorable. The tricopter dance.
Can Andy explain to me the origins of the Derry turn? So a Derry turn, for people who don't know, is where you do like usually you would bank to the right, like to turn right, for example. You bank to the right, and then you pull, right? You pull on your elevator, and you sort of pitch up and go around that turn that way. And a Derry turn is where instead of doing the bank to the right and then pulling to go right, what you do is you bank to the left and do like most of a barrel roll, well, not a barrel roll, like a fast roll. The other one. My brain is not functioning if you can't tell. So you roll left until you're pointing right, and then you pull to turn right. And by doing that, if you've got someone chasing you in a dogfight in Second World War, it's all the Messerschmitts versus Spitfires type dogfighting. You discourage them from following you. You kind of feign going left by instead going right, and walk vice versa. So that is a Derry turn. I have been told approximately 4 times in the past week where the dairy chain gets its name from. Probably a guy called Mr. Derry. It's probably a John Derry, I'm guessing, but I can't remember. Usually at this point, I'm doing something else and only half listening to make sure that the audio level is vaguely in the right area, which is a challenge when there's an afterburner 100 meters away from me. So there you go. As requested, that is the origins of the dairy chain. Yeah. Just like an Immelman. Sort of. Yeah. But for turning, and I guess it's the same idea. You're making it look like you're going to go one way and you instead go the other. Have you got any other projects you're working on, Jack? Any other aircraft?
No.
Your wings are still here. I need to get them to you.
I know. And we have met up quite a few times.
I know.
Still haven't done that. Still haven't made the transaction. I don't know. I mean, this is on the to-do pile, but I think it's a bit beyond saving.
That looks like some rubbish. What is it? You seem to have most of a pizza box just kind of falling apart in your hands.
It feels like it. It's plain. It was a plane.
It is. That's more like it.
Was a plane that has been stepped on. I had to. I broke the cub in half. It was too badly broken. I have got servos and different things on my bench ready to try and get this working with it's a flight test foam tiny trainer. Trying to get iNav working with a tricopter. I don't know how successful I'm going to be because I don't think we've got the ability.
Can I see what that board is that you keep holding up? I don't understand what I'm looking at.
Kakute F4.
But why is there two?
Oh, because one has the USB snapped off it. I was repairing it. And I haven't unbolted it. And I just put the new replacement flight controller next to it. Because there's two spaces to work. And you're supposed to... What you're meant to do is jam two boards in there and take parts off one to fix the other.
That makes sense.
But
a donor board.
Yeah. A donor board. But yeah, it's kind of... I just left it in there, put the other one in there, desoldered up so all the holes are clear. And yeah, I can sit there on the bench and kind of try and get it running because I don't think in iNav you can reassign outputs. So I don't know how well it's going to work. But apparently this has iNav on it. And in theory, we'll be able to give it a go. And I just want to try and have it on the bench and see whether I can get the servo to wiggle a bit. So, we can all hope. And I sent my PID values to Curry Kitten. They didn't work for him, unfortunately. So that's kind of sad. But oh well. Yeah. So at the moment I'm just kind of experimenting because the whole idea of it is, well, the whole hope of it was to build a tricopter that could take the 18650s and have like 4S 2P, but with David's current design on that tricopter, the camera plate just isn't big enough or wide enough.
So, yeah. Well, room for improvement.
Yes. So I don't know. I might be sending some files over to who are the guys who like cut carbon? Armaton. So yes, I might have to do a tricopter, but with custom firmware. And my next little issue is, amending the tricopter 3D printing things, because I've got the normal sized servo hole, but of course, if I do end up getting a Bluebird from you, say, I won't be able to. The hole needs to be bigger, so I might need someone to tweak the CAD files, which may be Caroline or Win. I don't know. Or I might have to learn how to do it myself. People might be like, no, I won't help you. I'm hoping that's not the case. But I've had a good look for files already available, and there just isn't any. So yeah.
People in the chat, what have you been doing? What are you going to do? Have you got any plans, projects, exciting things? Let us know. We've probably got, seeing that Stubbsy and Caroline are in the chat, I'm sure there's some updates on wing-related things that we could mention. There's events happening. I'm sure they can be posting some information in the chat for us to pass on to everyone.
I know, Andy. If I send you an invite link, would you show up? Would you come and say hello to us?
In the meantime, there was a bit of news that I saw recently, which I found entertaining, which is that up in Northumberland, there's a health hub, a sort of more than a GP surgery, less than a hospital, in a sort of rural location that's a bit difficult to get to, but serves a lot of local people, where they were trying to get drone deliveries of drugs and things to this health hub from the hospital, and it has been held up because the local residents are concerned that it's going to be disrupting the wildlife, and particularly there's a bridle way where they're worried it's going to spook the horses. and cause more injuries, which I sort of found vaguely amusing. That I think a fixed wing delivery drone, as is done elsewhere in the world, is gonna end up causing more disruption to their horseyways than just a big delivery truck turning up occasionally. But there we go. Yes, the next Wing Racing League event, by the looks of it, is the Pontefract Royal Flying Club on the 31st of August at Caroline's home turf. So that is just over a month away. So yeah, if anyone is thinking about having a go at wing racing and is somewhere that it is easier to get to Pontefract than it is to get to South Wales, then now's your opportunity. You are muted, by the way, Jack. You're still inaudible. Presumably, you've pulled out your audio interface.
Yeah, it feels like that sometimes. No, I dared plugged in a flight controller into the same USB hub and must have drawn a bit too much current.
Oh dear.
For it not to like that. It has begun. I have. Ooh. I mean, it's none of these. It's not a mini quad 3-inch props. It's not a 5-inch prop. I mean, a 7. This is the part where I find out iNav. When you go to tricopters, it says no. This is not going too well, is it? Sorry. Carry on, Frank.
Okay. Caroline says she may have found a bug in iNav 7.1.2 affecting missions. So let us know what's the bug. She's also maidening her Batwing this weekend, and there's posted a link that I can't click on because this system didn't let me click on links for reasons that I haven't quite understood.
I can deal with that. And there you go. It is a 3D printed Batwing, I believe.
Ready that doesn't look big enough to fly. Like that does not look like something that's gonna be. I guess unless it is a quad. Is it a quad rather than a fixed wing?
Don't know where are all its motors.
I'm guessing.
Are you thinking that's a shot glass rather than a full size glass?
Yeah, I'm kind of going by the.
That's got to be big because it's
grain
separate.
Of the wood. No, doesn't look very. I don't know. Let us know, how big is this? 50mm EDF. Okay.
That's half a meter, Frank. Is that big enough for you?
No. 50mm. It's 5 centimeters.
Oh dear.
2 inches.
That's tiny.
That's the size of the EDF. It's the diameter of the EDF that's going
Oh,
to
5 centimeters.
Yeah.
So how big's the model? What's the wingspan of the model?
We're waiting with bated breath here on the bouncer. So when I get these wings to you, are you gonna get them ready and come wing racing at some point?
No,
Why not?
not a chance.
Why not? It's fun.
Because they weren't designed for racing.
Yeah, I don't think many, like apart from like a top few, I don't think most of them are, to be honest.
Yeah, the Cappy, I will admit, I built and it terrifies me. I don't enjoy flying it.
Oh.
I've flown it a few times.
Mm.
It was fairly enjoyable, but I have only one battery for it. And it is a bit of a monster. And yeah, it is. It's a thing. It is a thing. And the other one, the S800, is just like an iNav sort of fly about. I mean, that thing stays up in the air for like, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour, hasn't got the right motor for racing. And I mean, it flies for so long that I had to put in a sort of circuit to charge the GoPro.
Wow. That is
Yeah.
significant.
Because it's got a GoPro Hero 3 in it, black, that somehow Tony didn't destroy. I sold my GoPro Hero 4 black with the quad sort of set up with the gimbal and that. I never did quite get working to where I, was all right with it. And like, I sort of like done things like tried to cut the arms down and stuff. But I don't think the frame was stiff enough. It should have been made out of like really thick carbon. And yeah, I just think motor technology and everything's kind of moved on a lot. And that S800, I built her for just cruising around and like having a good time and just flying around the valley. And I enjoy it because it's like super dense foam. The thing just bounces around. There is one thing I don't like about it, is its like antenna. Like, when I made it the the VTX like antenna thing didn't exist. And the Aeropod. But now I've got one. But yeah, they're all on left hand as well, which doesn't help.
Well, as long as everything's left hand and you're not flying with any digital people, then it's not a problem, is it?
Yeah, but yeah, they're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Yeah. Chris G's the only good one. It's digital. Flies on right hand. Also, another thing that I don't know whether was clear about Chris G is that tricopter. He was using like some sort of battery holder for the 18650s, and I think they're in they're in like parallel, whatever, and he like bridged a wire across the two batteries. So in the holder, so the batteries are in a holder, they don't come out. He has to charge the tricopter.
I did
Like-
charge the tricopter, and I can vouch that yes, the cells are now an integral part of that tricopter. You just charge that tricopter, which is an experience. Yeah, I'm just glad that he's moved on from non-keyed bullet connectors. Glad we've
I know.
moved away from that.
What a joker.
Sponsored by Mobius Mini. Yep, we get 100% of the profits from the Mobius Mini since 2023. I think.
What's that?
I'm just. I don't think they still make or sell the Mobius, do they?
I don't know. Can you still buy the Mobius action cam?
Somewhere I've got the version of the Mobius that came out before the Mobius that didn't have a case. It's just like a PCB in some heat shrink with a camera attached. Yeah. Like no button, like just the tactile switches, like no buttons over the top of them. So it's interesting.
You can still buy them from mobiuscam.com and they're £75.
Oh my god, really?
Apparently so.
Wow. For your your committed OG retro quad attempts.
There you go.
Oh my goodness. That is a Mobius.
And that, my
It's
friend,
a mini
is
USB connector. I like that there's a stock meter that's not quite on 0. There's like 3 pixels left.
Oh no, out of stock. Note, this is the newest 2023 model.
2023 model? It does full 1440p.
At 30/60 frames per second.
It does H.265. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I don't know whether it does it well.
Custom bitrate for chic bar. What does that mean? I don't think
It is different. It is different compared to the original Mobius 1 camera. This is the Mobius.
It does automatic image rotation.
Oh god, do we
and
trust
it has a
that?
G sensor. So does that mean it can do like real steady? Can you do real steady on a Mobius?
Would you want to? Oh my god!
You should definitely get one of these for your tricopter, just for the concourse, like
From Techmoan, has got 1 million views. Would you like to guess how many years old it is?
10.
Add one more.
11-year-old YouTube video.
Yep.
Nice.
Look at it. Oh, do you remember when malls used to be a thing where people would go? Is River Island still open?
Isn't that where you find giraffes?
I know. Topshop, Zara, they don't exist anymore.
Probably not.
Don't know. A lens protector that's 3D printed. Look at that
Nice.
nugget. Oof. That is something else.
I'm surprised you haven't bought 3 already. That seems right up your street.
No. If I was going to do anything, I'd buy a GoPro Hero 4 Black. And that's about it. That's all I would do. And that's pushing it. Hey, Alberta,
Hello.
Canada.
Hello, Robert Ortlip from
God,
Alberta,
man.
Canada.
You like one of the off-access lot.
Who else have we got in the chat tonight? We have Andy RC, Caroline Tyler, Carl Anderson, Son and Dad FPV, Mads Tech, hello, Numbskull FPV, Stubbsy, Caroline. I have missed you, then say something and I will remember you.
It will come back to me, I swear.
Yeah.
Oh. Was there any good dogs at the tattoo?
No dogs. It's not a very dog friendly sort of event. Like,
Not permitted.
I don't think so. I mean,
Oh.
they're not massively happy about about much at all, really. It turns out when you've got armed forces ranging from the Saudis and Qataris, Canada, Romania, like there's a lot of international armed forces there, and it turns out they quite like to. And they've got like the U2 on display. They've got the like mission U2s coming in and out while everything else is going on. The F-15 display did look awesome. The F-15 QA, the Qatari F-15. That was very impressive. Yeah. Because especially when it does its tail slide, which like a jet should be doing a tail slide. That was good. Definitely, that was a very impressive display. The Canadian F-18. I did like the Canadian F-18. I also enjoyed the half French, half English commentary. I was trying to work in the best of my French to understand what was going on. It was entertaining to hear the differences between the sort of the French commentary and the English commentary. But yeah, there were some drones on the static display. I believe there was some of Chris G's handiwork somewhere, but I couldn't find it. There was, yeah, there was. Andy RC has clearly watched too many of these streams. He knows what's going on. Caroline Tyler says the iNav issue, the bug, I guess, which she's reporting, was on a flat cruise. iNav was bouncing the throttle. Yeah. Interesting. Maybe it needs a bit of a hysteresis loop or something. Some kind of dead zone. Robert says he lives 20 kilometers from CFB Toldley. He gets a jet show every day at 11:30 a.m. Well, yeah, we don't have that usually. We have a lot of Chinooks coming over here, but we have had this week, yeah, the F-15 QA while it's been doing its bit at Farnborough, the B-52 doing its bit at Farnborough. I'm hoping we get to see Rich Goodwin fly over at some point tomorrow. We'll see. Well, I won't be here. I'll be at work. Yeah.
Oh, it's funny.
I've still got to build my head tracking system to do some head tracking on my Cub, so that I can practice. Or next time I see Andy, I can actually do some formation.
Does that mean going back to digital analog though?
I haven't flown digital FPV, but even though I own some bits, I haven't.
Well, you're a scab now, aren't you?
I know I'm the scab, but I haven't.
Do you want to hold it up so everyone can?
No.
know what a scumbag you are?
No, not at all.
Right, tell them what you've done, Frank.
I bought whichever version it is of DJI goggles that are cheap but can connect to most things. But I'll work out. I haven't actually got, I haven't actually put it on to anything that flies yet, so we'll see. But for the head tracking, I will do. I probably will just stick with analog because I've got the head tracking unit. I've got just got all the bits to do it. The V2. Oh, what's the naming scheme? So is it V1, V2, and then 2? Is that what it is? I think that's the naming scheme. And then I've got a V2. I think that's what it is. I don't know.
Andy RC said analog boo.
Like between the digital stuff and the ELRS, it all seems far too complicated.
Well, we've got options now. That's the problem. We never used to have any of those.
Not the Goggles 2, the Goggles V2, I think. Goggles 2 are the newer ones, right? Yeah, I feel like, how many different versions of DJI goggles are there? Because there were the ones that even before the V1s, there was like the racing ones, the HD ones, the ones that just worked with Mavic and not with FPV at all. So like DJI have made like a million goggles, and they've all got the same name, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to have things that you just bind them and they just work, or you just select the right channel.
Not
and
with
it just
DJI.
works. I would quite like some. At this point, you could hand me a dip switch and I'd be happy. I would, if I could not have to worry about having everything on the right flashed firmware and it just all work together, that would be an advantage. I would probably fly more FPV if I didn't have to do as much flashing as seems to be necessary at the moment. This is why I fly a lot line of sight, because I can put it away and get it out and plug a battery in and it still works. And I don't have to update anything. I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
That, and I have places that I'm allowed to fly line of sight. And I don't have many places I'm allowed to fly FPV.
I do have the source of where you can, in theory, buy the Trinity module, standalone module that sits on top of your goggles. I do have a link.
Is that what I need?
Well, if you want to do them digitally.
And how is that going to work with the ELRS? I haven't worked that one out either. Or like a radio.
They plug into your radio.
They plug into your radio. So you're gonna have like, I'm gonna have like this cable going up here and the cable going down there. I'm just gonna be covered in cables. I'm just gonna be like a spaghetti monster.
Yeah, unless the best person to probably ask about that sort of head tracking this is probably Andy or Caroline.
I know.
Is there Bluetooth?
That sounds like a recipe for disaster. Mixing Bluetooth in with everything else.
Oh, no. Whilst you're blasting a 2.4 signal.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yep. I just want to fly. I don't want to have to learn that much more. My brain can't take it.
I never got the backpack working. Either. That never worked.
Oh well, I'll get it working at some point. Oh, that's like mentally, I've just already shoved it to winter. Like, I'm not dealing with it before then. If I get a chance to play with anything, I'm just going to go out and fly line of sight at the club field where I'm allowed to fly line of sight. I'm not allowed to fly a PB. I'm not
Headtracker.gitbook.io,
going to worry about any of this.
and that's a transmitter. Right, receiver.
Oh, okay.
Crossfire to S bus into the bottom of the radio, I think. I don't know. TX16S. You own that.
I do have a TX16S. That is correct.
Crossfire to S bus.
I don't
So
have
it
one
plugs
of
into the
those.
bottom on the UART. And then buy this headtracker.gitbook.io. And then
So what is that? Is that like a PCB? Do you just buy a PCB and you have to solder a load of stuff onto
well, no,
it?
that's a receiver with a breakout by the looks of it. And then
Is
you
this
buy a
something
head
we're
tracker.
recommending? Is this
I
something
don't know.
anyone can
I don't know.
vouch for?
This
You
is
just
the first
Googled it
thing that came
and
up.
this
Yes.
appears. Okay. Okay. Well, if anyone has any experience of
Option 1,
mod,
Bluetooth. Free Sky Bluetooth trainer. There's 2 words in there that I don't like.
those do not inspire
Wired.
confidence.
You said no to wired.
Well, I mean, if I have to, I have
Bridged.
to.
Wireless using another nano BLE as a bridge to your radio. Remove the
Yes.
wire from your head to your radio using a nano 33 BLE as a receiver board. Analog input. That's a Raspberry Pi. Digital inputs. That's also a Raspberry Pi.
Why
PPM.
do you need to have analog inputs into a head tracker? You're like hot gluing your head to something to have some pops turn.
Well, that's receiving the info and putting it into your radio. PWM output. Note, PWM is only 3.3 volts. Many non-digital servos will not work correctly. You will need to power the servos from a battery eliminating circuit. Oh god, this is terrifying. ELRS setup.
How many pages is this? Feels like
1.
it's going to be. I'm not sure I believe it. My experience
2,
of ELRS.
3,
So
and if you watch a video, 4. And then if you get really upset, there's 5 for the Discord chat. And there is issues. Drift on pan.
Help.
Help. Windows 11 support is an issue. Unable to stop Bosak Knack. I never.
Alternatively, if anyone else in the chat or listening to the podcast later on has experience with head trackers and knows a good one, let us know. And DLC says, "Come speak to Daddy." I will do.
Is that Phil?
Yeah.
Is it a Trinity?
I have too many projects already. It's on the list, but it's somewhat lower down in the priority list than like the kitchen. And
did the nylon print show up yet?
Yes, it did.
Is it nicer?
Yes.
Ooh. Well, I feel irrelevant now.
Well, that's why it costs lots of money.
How much?
60 quid. It's the head tracker 2.1 from the GitHub you were looking at. So it is that one, but it's just wired. Okay. Yeah, that's
Did you sniff it? Were you like, oh, I miss additive XYZ, SLS? Were you like licking the powder and being like, I remember this?
Just snort it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Where's my bucket of bees?
Exactly. Yeah.
I've got a sudden urge to glue butt plugs to the
heels of my shoes. Yes.
The stilettos. Yeah.
Oh
God.
no.
That's a reference. If you're in the Patreon, that has been referenced.
Has it?
Yeah.
I'm concerned now. I feel like the Patreons have been shown too much. Tell us about the Dairy Turn again. No. Go to Plains TV on YouTube or watch.plains.tv or whatever it is. Watch.plainstv.com. Go to there and see the C-27J Spartan of the Italian Air Force do its display at the Royal International F2 at Fairford 2024. And you will see many dairy turns, more dairy turns than you can shake a stick at. Or buy the motion sick one. I have got the motion sick gimbal. I don't have the motion sick head tracker because Andy told me not to. I think. I think that's us for this week, right? I'm gonna struggle to stay verbal if we carry on any longer.
Yeah, I think we are cooked. I think I'm done.
Yep.
I'm done. You're done. We're all done.
Yep.
Let me do the banner.
Ooh, just
We'll do the outro, Frank. I done the intro. You do the outro.
No, you do the outro.
Have you not got it in you?
No.
Just
I think more than 5 words at a time is going to be a struggle to string together.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Well, thank you to all our wonderful Patreons. We do love and appreciate you. And Andrew / Frank more so than anything. Unfortunately, there hasn't been too many of us around for this episode, and hopefully me and Frank kept you lightly entertained enough, and hopefully we can all kind of...
Not too much, but just sufficiently.
Sufficiently, yes. So... yeah. Tune in next week. Hopefully we'll have more people on and we can all hang out and have a good time. You've been joined by the wonderful, fantastic man who's in charge, Andrew / Frank.
I don't feel in charge.
And I've been your host, Bright to Life Live. Thank you and good night.
Bye.
Bye.